Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is music producer Mr. Pope. The following is a podcast featuring myself and Jack Gibson, aptly titled The People's Lovecast. Enjoy. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. Make sure you check out Sun God Records, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and bear with us.
And then they called it, there was one guy, his name was Heathen Stevens. He was one of the older guys, and they called him Heathen Stevens because every morning he would throw up. Because, you know, when you are a bad alcoholic, you throw up every morning from alcohol withdrawals. And every morning he would throw up and then start drinking and then throw up again. And, like, they'd be like, oh, there goes Heathen Stevens. And then dude, the funniest thing that happened, though, was there was this guy who was someone's brother. Somebody knew him, and they talked about him. Sort of like before he showed up, they, like, were talking about this crazy guy, like, painting this picture of him. And I was like, who? I mean, like, is this guy ever going to show up? What are they talking about? And this guy, I don't know if I think his name was, like, Wayne or something. And he was, like, so pissed, like, because he tried to join the crazy camp, but they, like, made him sleep under the bridge. He's like, I remember when they made him sleep under the bridge, because they're like, well, we're the four horsemen, we kind of, you know, we have our own thing, and he's like, I'm the fifth goddamn horseman.
Wait, did you ever hear any, like, the backs?
Screaming under the bridge, goddamn four horsemen, fuck the four horsemen, I'm the fucking swords of the apocalypse. You want the apocalypse? I'll show you the apocalypse. And then, like, he would come the next morning, he's like, yeah, I'm sorry about last night. Did anyone got a beer?
Did you ever hear any of the backstories of any of the homeless guys? Like, any of these?
Yeah, no, one guy was, like, just an old hobo who used to, like, hop train. He was, like, a real, like, I think he was, like, from the Depression era, like, of hopping trains, because he had, like, this really simple train track tattoo on his hand with, like, this circle on it, and he's like, it took me 10 years to earn that track, and then he's like, in the circle, that took me another 20.
Wait, how does that work? How does that work with the tattoos?
Yeah, no, I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, well, you can't get a track until you've been riding trains for 10 years. This is Barry Farmer. And the oldest guy, the guy was like, there's water in there's beer in my water.
That's the guy who drank the Black Colt 45.
And he was saying, like, he's like, it takes 10 years for you to earn the track. And he's like, the circle. And I'm like, what does the track mean? And it's like, it just means that you're, like, what part of the people who ride trains. And he's like, and I was like, what does the circle mean? Like, why did it take, like, longer to earn that little circle on the other track? And he's like, that means, like, that you're, like, good, trusted, like, you're completely, like, you're not, like, a fuckboy.
Because that ain't no circle. That's a hole.
I don't know. It was crazy. Like, the circle meant that he could be trusted. Like, not only was he a trained guy, he was, like, an official trusted bum. Like, they were like these secret, like, bum.
It's like the Freemasons of
like,
bums.
It was really trippy, bro.
It's the
One guy was, like, running from the law. He had, like, a felony in another state.
Oh, shocking.
And, so, like, and he eventually, and there was, like, different characters who would pass through, and there's, like, these fucking people, like, who eventually left that spot, and he left with them, and they ended up getting pulled over, and he ended up going back to jail in his home state.
Damn. Because
sometimes they would talk about, he's like, I can't ever go home. He's like, you don't understand that. If I go home, I have to go to jail. And he's like, this is my life now. And then, like, sometimes people, because he was young enough to, like, actually turn his shit around. Like, two of the guys were, like, they were gonna die old, drunk hobos.
Yeah, they were just gonna die on the street.
But then there was two younger guys, and the youngest guy actually seemed like he might be a little autistic or something, but he seemed like he was young enough to actually turn his life around, too.
What if he'd already had, like, a prosperous, like, he was the CEO of a big tech company, he just decided to give it all up, and this is his life now?
It was funny. They were mysterious. The rich guy made more sense. Like, he had murdered someone because they fucked his his sister. They killed her by fucking her with a broomstick. Some crazy shit.
Holy fuck.
I know. And, like, so he had been in prison for 25 years, and then, like, he had nothing. He couldn't get any work or do anything, so he just became a homeless guy in the woods. Like, that was... And the thing is, like, we always knew he had been to jail for 25 years, so it's like, eventually one time I was just sitting around there, because I was always wondering why. I was like, okay, we've been hanging out with this dude for a long time, and you guys, like, have sort of hinted that he went to jail for murder, and then, just the fact that he had been in for 25 years made you question, like, okay, what did this fucking guy do? And then
Of course.
I'm like sitting there with him, and I'm like, so Rich, you were in for a long time, man. I've never done more than a year. I've only ever gone to county. And I'm like, what'd you get in for? And then, like, he got all quiet and serious, and like, it's all low. And like, dude, once he started explaining the story to me, dude, I just started feeling like, oh my God, why did I ask this? I'm like, oh fuck, this is so awkward. Because he's like, these motherfuckers.
It brings it all back.
Like, yeah, dude, he got the fucking 1,000-yard. His eyes instantly got the 1,000-yard stare, and he's like, you don't understand. You know what these people did? I had to do it. I didn't care if I went to jail or not. I had to. And like, I was like, oh shit. I was like, this is the guy I've been chilling with. This is like a crazy, crazy guy. I mean, but. It's sad, you know, because like the other day we were talking about the guy who shot the child predator in the head,
right?
And like he only got 3 days, but like most cases of revenge murder, that doesn't work that way.
Oh no, I know that's like a fluke. You know what I mean? If anything, it's like kind of like one of those stories they plant to like kind of create a dialogue. You know, like.
Yeah, no.
It's like, oh, this major news network totally doesn't have crooked people, crooked perverts in it.
Some shit, dude. I saw some of the most twisted shit last night. I was just watching this thing called Lost Media, and it's about these footage.
I've seen some of those. Yeah, I've seen clips of some of that stuff on YouTube.
About, like, these guys, they built a bunker, like a survival doomsday bunker, and had like a cell in it where they filmed like and raped people and like then killed them, like 12 different families. They kidnapped whole thing, crazy shit. And then like it's like I've never heard about these people, but Charlie Manson is the most evil guy in the world. I was like, there's so, like, Charlie wasn't even there. Yeah, he was kind of like he was a fucking, like, nickel and dime type criminal. Like, he got petty. The reason he went to jail the first time for a long time was writing a counterfeit $37 check, or like a $37.
Wait, Jack, yeah. I think this is a good time for me to tell you that I've been recording this conversation for the podcast, so... Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be on. I'm not sure what I've said.
Well, you were basically saying how like the most evil, wicked. I guess I'll PR this up. I'll put some glue on it. Basically, what I think you mean is that the wickedest people out there are faceless and lurk among us.
You don't hear. They want the sensationalism. The whole story of Charlie Manson, the cult leader who can control people's minds. That's like a huge thing that they're just like, it fell into their laps. They're like, oh wait, we can end the hippie generation right now, and we don't even need to work that hard. Like, this guy is perfect. Like, because Charlie, he was actually, they were about to make a documentary about his the whole farm and like the ranch and shit, and the way that they lived. Because the thing is, Tex Watson was some dude. He didn't live at the ranch. He wasn't under Charlie's mind control. He was another underground world criminal that Charlie knew. Tex Watson met Dennis fucking Wilson before Charlie did. And not only that, fucking Tex Watson lived in Dennis Wilson's house for a month as his live-in drug dealer. Tex Watson was a drug dealer who before, yeah.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the Pope.
Oh, hey, Pope, it's me. I just got home.
Hi, Faith.
What was bad?
Oh no.
I know.
How does that happen?
I brought my X-Acto knife to school today so that I could cut open a hole in my book. And, I lost the tab, and then I had
We'll be right back.
my bag, and then I reached.
It's good. I'm telling you, when I was tripping, I was like, holy shit. He wrote a song for everyone, but he couldn't even talk to you. What does that mean?
And we're back. We're back to the show now. And I just want to start this segment off by saying, you know, Jack, I think that acid's actually good for you in your musical journey.
Well, like, the crazy thing that happens to me with acid is, I remember there is a song that I can link you guys to that I know is directly related to acid, and that song's Put It Into Play, Pisces, off of my first SoundCloud, just Jack Gibson's picture of me with headband sitting there kind of distantly in the distance with a red and a green and yellow light.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I know where to find that. I want to tell the viewers also that you can find that on SoundCloud on Jack Gibson. You'll see a elfin boy, young elfin, beautifully haired boy sitting in a purple landscaped room. And that's
the thing. It's a hard picture to describe. I'm not even sure what I'm doing or where I was.
Was that lighting? Because there's no effect on that picture.
No, I just crossed it out because I was at the perimeter of that place.
Oh, did you put headphones in? Because the audio is a little muffled. You're good. It's back. We're back.
Okay.
All right. So, what were you saying?
I'm just saying, I don't even know where, I know where that picture was taken, but I don't know in what context it was taken. I remember vaguely a memory of me cropping out, okay, this is when my ex-girlfriend was having me play a concert at this place called Mother Earth, and a future girlfriend was there that I didn't even know that night, Liz, and Bridget, and who is Sebastian's girlfriend. You guys don't know Sebastian. He used to be an old band with us called
Sebastian's still making music, and he wants no accolade from us. He wants no approval or accolade for us, so we won't plug his stuff here.
Oh, well, basically Sebastian... Okay, well, let me tell you guys a little bit so that we can not only just tell you that he's a cunt, so you can know the reason why. This motherfucker, we've been through the goddamn, the trenches, the fucking trenches. When there's 5 people in the bar, they're like, yeah, whole show. And you have to talk to these people after the show.
We were supportive of him before they moved to Miami and considered us.
That's what was the whole thing. Watercolors was one of my favorite bands, but they did this thing where every show they would play with us, they wouldn't talk to any of the other bands. They wouldn't talk to the promoters. They wouldn't talk to the audience. They'd get up and play and go. And for a while, I was like, you know what, man? If that's their style, that's their style. They don't want to talk to anybody. Fine. Because we would always get off stage, immediately start talking to someone in the audience about guitar solos or beer or some shit. I can't remember. It's a long day.
Remember that time when, just shit like that.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like the audience. It almost seemed like Sebastian was genuinely frightened of the audience.
He was, well, as you remember, he wasn't, he was an introvert, and he was not someone you would think.
He was from Boynton, and he worked on his mommy's boat, and he really, I think when he hit the bar scene, he wasn't ready for people who were drunk like that. He'd only been drunk in the social settings, because I had been to a party at Sebastian's house, and it was a very sort of we know our kids are getting drunk. We just want them to do it at home. You know, and like I felt that motherly, like I'm drinking like a mom-approved beer. You know.
Where when you were at where?
Sebastian's party. Like I
Oh
went
yeah,
to
yeah,
Sebastian's
yeah.
party and I saw Skylar once, and like I just remember feeling I'm like this.
They
is
always
the
had
same
nicer
birthday
things
party.
than they always had nicer things than us. Like they always had at least like a place.
Oh yeah,
You
no,
know, like
I went to, one time at the end of an acid trip,
Better
I was
equipment.
with Sebastian. I went to his house, and he was like, "I just need to eat food so that I can stop tripping on off acid." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Okay." And so I went into his house. I'm like, "You live in a fucking nice ass house, man."
Yeah.
He's like, I would buy weed, but I need to clean my mom's boat. I'm like, wow, yeah, your mom's boat.
Um.
You can
When
clean boats.
Yeah. When we all when we started out People's Love Cult, it was really what People's Love Cult was a
Sebastian
it was a
our
super
friend.
group.
Like,
Yeah, he was. Well, I can't say the same for I can't speak for him, but I mean I never had an issue with him. I tried to never be confrontational. It was what was always behind
There
the
was only
scenes.
one confrontation, which was ridiculous because I've been through literally, as you can see. I know Sebastian. I knew him when literally he was a shy freshman, like who was a little chubby, who literally was like, you know, kind of like, hey, I can play a little guitar, and I was like, hey man, that's real cool, you know. And this is after I'd already dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
You know, so I thought it was just a nice, kind of cool, you know, reserved person. And then, fast forward to years later, I've gone off my fucking haywires.
Yeah.
But I'm still me, you know. Like it's frazzled as mine.
You can't stop you from being yourself, bro.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, I may have been a tad bit crazy on the lam, I guess you would say.
Well, welcome to the club. Yeah.
I was, you know, I had warrants, I had drugs in my system, whatever. We were at some punk rock menu, right? And I see Sebastian, and he's with his old band, except they're all dressed differently, they all look different. And I'm like, is that Sebastian? It's like, what's up, Sebastian? Because, like, I was in this sea of punk rock, and man, I'm telling you, the Miami punk rock, what I saw, because I can't speak for all Miami punk rock, I feel like that'd be wrong, but
Yeah.
what I was exposed to, I felt like a lot of these bands were just kind of hammering in the same nail, like,
Sure.
you know, I don't know. That's just all I'm going to say about it. They were hammering in the same nail, and
Yeah.
you guys can take that however you want. But I could go a lot further, and I'm sure if it wasn't recording and Nick was off the phone, I would have a lot more explanations on the nail. But
Sure.
okay, basically they were hammering in the nail, and I was a walking screwdriver. Let's just put it that way. And I was throwing beer, you know, just like outside. I couldn't even go into the, like, it's funny because of all the punk rockers, I wasn't even a punk rocker, and I was more punk rock than any of them. Like, eventually, we were going to these shows at the Noise Conference every day of the week.
It was-
And eventually, they kicked me out, and we would still go to the shows. I just hang out in the parking lot and drink because I was, like, too, I think they kicked me out because they caught me bringing in wine, like, 4 different times in my jacket.
Why would they kick you out of a punk rock show? Isn't that punk rock?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it really wasn't. It was this weird like version of punk rock. Like they had just.
Well,
seen
it was
that
like Sonic
decline
Youth.
of
It was like
Western
Sonic Youth kind of
civilization.
thing. You know, it was like Sonic Youth with like that. It was noise rock. It was noise rock, and they were.
Oh yeah, no. Some of it wasn't even punk rock. Some of it was literally just like a guy and like a couple pedals. And
Yeah.
like screaming into a microphone, like ah, ah! And then you get his pedals, and it's like yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I actually enjoyed that better than the punk rock.
For some reason, that was more of an artistic statement than like
Yeah,
she
no,
said
and
she don't want it. But instrumentally, they were good. Instrumentally, they were good though. They were good enough. You know. They were good enough instrumentally.
The Punk, yes.
You know, I mean, like, but I mean,
it's not like they couldn't play.
We never had that before. But what I mean is, we never had that before. Like, South Florida didn't have a punk scene that was our age or that was relevant at all up until about a couple years back, when People's Love Cult was still kind of like doing their thing, and like, you know, but it's like it became very run of the mill. It became more like, you know, because there was like a different generation.
Oh, yeah. It was such a thing. Like, these guys had seen some sort of movies about punk rock, and
yeah, like the Suburbia kind of, that kind of thing.
In an almost unintentional journalistic way, I was living with these Miami punks. I fucking slept in the car with them. I fucking went to store and stole beer with them. Like, you know, I was taking in their culture.
I was too, and we were pretty much like I had read about punk scenes like that. I'd read about punk scenes like that.
The funny thing is, what I absorbed from their culture was that they were these extremely privileged kids
that were running away. Yeah, that were they were cultured and they were running away.
They'd go back to their parents' nice, rich, big house of opulence, and I'm talking about very high ceilings. I'm talking about rooms upon rooms upon rooms where it's like, oh, here, this is my room back there. They won't hear us that good over, you know, on the other side of the castle.
Yeah.
And then they would go, they'd put on makeup and spiky clothes, and then they'd go out of their house and they'd be like, man, life's tough. And I'd be like, guys, when I went to high school, my mom bought me 1 pair of jeans and 2 pairs of shirts. And she said, there's your out. She's like, you can work it out.
And you're from the country, and like here you are in these like Fort Lauderdale landscapes, big cities. West Palm even is a small, relatively small, but like cultured city of new money and bullshit. That scene, it seems like it's died now too, because, you know, they had a cancel culture wave in South Florida with a lot of bands that you would think would be so woke. Like, they canceled Period Bomb. They canceled this kid.
Oh, they canceled Period Bomb?
Yeah, there was some because one of the members of the band violated this chick while she was sleeping. And they're all doing these like this chick this one. Yeah, and this is here's the most woke.
Lighthearted about that before, because that's very, very weird. Because if anyone doesn't know, the Period Bomb thing was like this kid Donald Deo we knew from
G-Star.
Yeah, we went to high school with him when he was like a metal scene kid.
Yeah, he was an emo kid. He was a scene kid, an emo. Yeah, you know that
he used to be really proud of, like, he's like, I haven't washed my hair in 7 months, dude.
I mean, that is pretty punk rock.
No, but he would still shower. What he would do is he'd put like a little hairnet over his head. That's not punk rock.
Yeah, he's the lunch lady. He's a punk rock lunch lady.
Actually,
there's a glam rock scarecrow, and then there's a punk rock lunch lady.
I'm the punk rock lunch lady.
Hey, I got some good news for you, Jack. So right now we're actually live streaming on YouTube with your audio. This is the official People's Lovecast, People's Lovecast podcast, and we're gonna start doing this and going live when we. That's why I do have to bring my laptop up to Michigan, but this is our chance now to tell our story. You know.
Yes.
In fact, maybe I could add you on this. Maybe we could see if we could split screen this if you're able to get. Oh wait, I don't know if I can.
I just woke up, so I look like a.
That's fine. You should see what I'm doing with this visual here, because it's pretty funny. I look like a
well, now whenever
Gothic
I do my therapy,
Eskimo.
it's through telehealth, you know, the future, and I have this background I accidentally set that's like a picture of like Jesus on a cross and then like this religious mosaic.
Praise the Lord.
So now whenever I do therapy, there's like this weird, like I'm like in this green screen, like weird religious thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. And the thing is, my therapist nor my psychiatrist have said anything about it.
Right,
They're
right.
like, oh yeah, the religious backdrop. That makes sense.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's no way they could have seen it. I made that picture. It's a collage I made of Jesus.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Cultivation album cover. What were you thinking for that?
Well,
Because I want you to make something, but like what I know, I learned that because I really didn't know. I'm dumb. I didn't really know what cultivation necessarily meant.
yeah, it's like a farming thing.
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe the initial landscape could be like crops or farming, like kind of being like
Yes, yeah. If there was some way that we could be like almost like harvesting the music with our instruments, I mean, and that sounds really gay now that I'm saying
it's a little bit like no, like look, our ideas will come in the middle. Like we'll meet that in the middle.
That's well, what I was about to say before you said the thing about cultivation, because I thought that was an interesting point. I totally forgot it is a farming term.
Yeah. But in a way, it's a great concept.
I never know really with any collage what I'm going to do, and that's why I like the art form.
Yeah.
And that's why, like what me and Nick were talking about the other day, is there's a difference between writing songs and making music. When you sit down to make music, that's because you haven't got a song that you've written. When you're writing songs, at least in my experience, and in Nick's experience, you're holding a guitar or an instrument, and then a song just starts kind of coming out of nowhere, and you can't really stop until it's done. Or you do sometimes run into, and this is something John Lennon told George Harrison, but it's actually very, very, very stoic and wise advice, is that if you start a song, try and finish as much of it as you can then, because as the weeks go by, it will be harder for you to get back into that mindset. It'll be harder for you to finish it right. But
yeah.
So making music to me is sitting down and being like, well, what kind of song can we make? Like what instrument should we use? And there's been some great, great songs that have come from that process. But writing songs, to me, is where you get the real gold. That's the real.
Right. It totally is. I mean, it's also like.
I mean, you'll talk to John about it, and he says it's like fishing. It is like fishing because you can't just be like. To me, I can't just say today I'm gonna wake up and write a fucking great song. Great songs don't get written like that. I don't know how to explain it. They either get written or they don't.
Yeah.
They don't come necessarily from the human mind, I think.
We got a People's Love Cult song. There's one from the Light album. That's one of the many albums I recorded during the pandemic. Yeah, and it's like we've got the human mind down to a science. We've got human. You listen to that one. It's that was actually something that Brandon said when Brandon was in the group, and we wrote that song like just right then and there, but it was just a cell phone recording. I didn't want to there's such a cell phone dump, and I considered Militiamen and the Cult Fantasy Hour 1 and all these things were basically just I wanted to create not a permanent scene or not I wanted to create I wanted to create something that was basically a phase of the band that was gonna this is how we're gonna do it now. It's gonna be about this, but I took all those and edited and did audio mixing and editing, but I had to make it sound like this was intentional. And our origins are, yes, it's lo-fi music, but not on purpose. Now what you have is people in the mainstream, everybody from Kanye to Tame Impala to they have this preset. I've had producers reach out to me and be like, hey, how do I make lo-fi? How do you do lo-fi? How it's well, first of all, fire your engineer.
First of all, you're in the wrong position to even be asking that. You see your credit cards, just cut all those in half, for one. Just cut them all in half. Go down into your bank account, withdraw everything, give all your money to a homeless man with no teeth.
And then leave yourself with just a guitar and 4 bad instruments.
Yeah. Go back to your recording studio. Make sure to smash every good instrument except for maybe 1 or 2.
Don't use an interface. Whatever you do, don't use an interface. Don't do any direct input. Just take the shittiest microphone that you can buy, a USB microphone, and turn the gain up all the way and press record.
Not even a microphone for a USB. If it's like a webcam or something, because those actually pick up audio too. So if you're using a recording program, you can actually, for years I recorded on a webcam and on a normal video camera, just plugged in through my computer.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I know.
We're pretty much doing that the same way now with this stream. We're doing it with I got the camera set up here, and it's just coming out, but I also have the audio and Audacity going through. So this actually works a lot smoother. Even though I've seen so many live streams, well, not so many, but I've just seen a couple live streams where it's basically like it's some guy talking and they're having a conversation on the phone, like Levy's show right now. Is pretty much just him. I mean, he has better quality, but it's just him going on live on YouTube, and because it's live now, but then the stream's going to be up on there afterwards, and I'll upload the audio. God bless you separately.
This is my withdrawals kicking in.
From your
from my dirt from
inhaler. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to. What?
Not only am I cutting down on I've been detoxing, and I've been taking off a gram a day.
No, good for you, man. Good for you.
Trust me. In a way, I think it's healthy for me.
It gets worse before it gets better. That's for sure.
Well, dude, the thing is, actually. It seemed like I was doing a lot, so I bought a scale to see how much I was doing. And then I was like, whoa, that's like, let's just say it was 10 grams short of 2 ounces. Which is not a good amount of anything to be putting. If you're putting 2 ounces of anything into your body, just make sure that it's a good thing. Maybe
you can't even really. You can. Would 2 ounces of edibles with weed would that be good? I mean, is that possible?
I think so. I think so.
Because I'm sure people have done that.
I ate. I've been eating weed Rice Krispies all week. I've been eating weed Rice Krispies all week. Just because, me and my girlfriend, we make those weed Rice Krispies because why not?
In a state that's legal, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, in a state that it's legal.
Yeah, I don't break the law anymore. It's kind of a drag. I used to break the law. I had to break the law every day.
Yeah, I've contemplated breaking the law, but I've actually failed to ever do it. So, what that experience is like. I've talked to a lot of powerful people, supportive people. They're all in this community called Lawbreakers Anonymous, LA. LA or LBA, but they just are kind of shorted to LA for just so it ages right, ages better, because in about 60 years, people are going to be looking. People are going to be looking at Los Angeles.
But then that's Cocaine Anonymous, so they couldn't take that.
Isn't Kratom with a K?
Yeah, I was talking about Cali.
Oh.
Because I thought you were talking about LA, LA.
Yeah.
Is that an acronym?
The Sniffling Stream. This is the Sniffling Show.
Okay.
No, we have good content. No, this is good. We got this. Look, we're going to start from the bottom up. We're going to do this show on the stream with the audio, with you on the phone, and then we'll do a bunch of episodes when I'm up there, and shit will be cool, and then we'll just you just increase.
No, I know. I just feel like
the first episode's supposed to look bad. I mean, it's like I don't even know what the appearance is.
It just ends with me talking shit. It's just me talking shit, and then I end sneezing, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was taking 40 grams.
Right.
Every day.
I know,
No,
it's
but
really interesting. I mean,
I'm
really
not-
interesting stuff here, guys. You know, like this is really like a kind of like us restoring our history and trying to like get you psyched and promote the next release and everything like that. But it's really just like
Of course
kratom
we wanna
and
promote the
and
next
sneezing.
release and stuff. But we have the thing is why we delve into our history, and I think this is very important to everything that me and Nick have done musically, is that a lot of it has been from the past. And so when we're talking about the past, we're actually talking about the present. If you are, have anything to do with PLC or interested in the channels, the music that we've been doing for so long,
visit
you have
Sun
to
God
kinda
Records.
go- you have to time travel with us,
Yeah.
to these, because what's happening now. Yeah, there's some merit to that, but it's like we're not asking you to time travel back to the 70s. We're in our. I just turned 30. Nick just turned 30.
Yeah,
So
we're getting there.
and this is a small time travel.
And we're both narcissistic enough to like
Yeah.
actually like at the age of 30 be like, well, we've lived this fantastic, very lucrative life.
Oh, I can't believe the past.
Oh, those old days, mate, those old days.
Oh, those old days, the good old days. Remember when old Tommy was alive, and Cheyenne, and Danny, and they were ripping us off for crack, but we loved them anyway. I know, I just mean that about Danny, but
Oh yeah, Danny was our friend Danny, who was technically he was a part of. He wasn't obviously a member, but
he
when
was a part.
He was a part of PLC
for a short amount of time too.
it sucks. There's like little to no recordings of. There's really no like. What? But did Danny record? Like, cause I like with you.
There is a recording with
A
Danny
recording.
on it. That is 2,000 files. That's on my Sirius Tally SoundCloud account. That's SIRIUS. Sirius, like the constellation. And they also have some sort of other thing, but we don't care about.
Oh
that.
wait, you have a Sirius Tally SoundCloud? I thought that was.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
see.
all my-
Oh, wait a minute. Let's see if we can. Let me look that up here. Let's take a gander here.
You never seen that shit?
Well, wait.
That's why I have like all the.
Wait, I felt like you did, but I know there's Jack Gibson
That's
27.
on 2,000 files.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Oh, that's the no that you know why? Because that's the most recent. Yeah, of course. Because that was how you were feeding me the files that I put on Evil Mind on your release with the cassette. That ended up becoming the cassette.
No, that's you're talking about Jack Gibson 27. That's where Evil Mind was.
But you were also, no, for sure.
There. Oh yeah. Well, I didn't. There was no cassette from the Sirius Tally one. The Sirius Tally one was actually the only one that I had the password to, and then we had to do the Evil Mind release. I had to go and beg SoundCloud to be like, listen, it really. Yeah, it's like it's not distraught, but it's not angry. It's and then I'll just trail off and just like be like, what happened to my brain? And it's because like now you have everything available to you. Your brain, I think, literally starts using the phone to store data. Because I think your brain is like a data storing machine, and I think for like every so many thoughts you take in, eventually they do kind of have to shave one off or whatever.
Sure.
But I think because the brain recognizes that this information, like I think the brain has a place like where they're like, okay, this is temporary information. This is like long-term temporary, and then this is long-term, and then this is permanent information. And I think what these phones are doing to our brains is like a lot of information that should at least be long-term is getting put into short-term storage that gets like deleted after so many days, because the brain is like, oh, we don't need to, this isn't a priority storage thought, because this is something like that we can access with our phone that is with us all the time. So I just feel like literally the biochemistry of our brains and the way that it stores memory is being changed because the priority levels are different. It used to be like if you're learning something new, you want to put that in your head forever because that's something that you know, and it's like not something that you can just find out from anyone. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
When you used to learn or hear stories, you would really fucking like it would go deeper into your brain. And now it's like I feel like your brain does it. Your brain is like, oh well, that's not priority storage because we have this other brain that you know. So now we're using. I don't know. I just really think that the biochemistry of the young, because I think because when we were young, we at least got a taste of what normal life was like. You know, sort of the Gen X life, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, I mean, like, from afar, it was almost like, you know, we saw the
kids who are 30 now are like the last people to have like really like played outside. I mean, besides fringe groups like the Mennonites, but we're like kind of like the last group of kids who actually had sort of like a
at least in Western civilization.
I remember playing with kids in the neighborhood. I remember like, oh, don't go down to that lady's house. She's a bitch. Those are those people, and like now it's like your neighbors could be anyone. You don't fucking, if you see them on the stairs, you give them a nod and you keep walking. Like
it's like New York City.
And I just don't think for any reason the AI, if it knew anything about humans and if it got all its information from humans,
it would self-destruct.
Humans are liars. Humans are people who keep secrets. And then, like, if it was getting information from the government, and the government's like, yeah, this is something that we know about, but we lie to all of the people about because we know better than them, then the computer is like, wow, there is information that is good to keep secret and lie and withhold from everybody for the good of everybody.
Like right now, AI is our bitch, but we're becoming AI's bitch very, very quickly, and like alarming.
Oh man, it's gonna be scary. But that's why I really believe that as artists, we gotta keep making our music weirder. We gotta make it unreplicable.
We gotta make it good.
Wreckability?
You see, this is exactly what we were talking about. It's happening right now.
It's sad, man. It's sad. It makes me feel dumb and sad, and it happens to me when I'm like hanging out with my girlfriend's dad and shit, and I'll be trying to remember.
That's what Jacob used to say. Jacob used to say computers are getting smarter, people are getting dumber, and he was saying this way before there was AI. Like somebody like that who like would leave their cell phone in the car the whole time they would be out and about.
That's why I'm almost glad for Evan, Jacob, Danny, Cheyenne. They got to just, die thinking the world. I mean, Jacob, I think he held on a little bit longer for our benefit because
that's true.
I think because I think genuinely Evan died before. Well, the reason he got all those guns is because he thought there was some sort of like end of the world thing type coming,
Yeah.
And so, but I'm saying like Jacob, I feel like he was staying, and he had all this fun, and he's like, oh, I might as well stay a little longer because he got to play his guitar and like.
I mean, he went out with a bang. He did it. Mellow Guy did it the way Mellow Guy had to do it.
But I mean, I think he did get to see what happened to him after the pandemic when everyone came back out of their houses. They had changed.
Yeah.
A lot, like a lot of people. And I think just that year post-pandemic when everybody was allowed out again and he saw how different everyone was, he just knew. He's like, I gotta bail on this fucking Earth thing because it's just not working.
No, I hear you.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I honestly think that, like, you and I are gonna have to, I mean, who knows, maybe one of us will get lucky depending on whatever. But what I'm saying is, like, I really think that our friends who died got to just die with sort of those cherished memories of fun and lightheartedness,
Yeah.
and we were with kids. You know, even Jacob, he started to see how ugly it really was. And so, like,
Everybody's got to check Mellow Guy out, man. You know what I mean? I want everybody that ever even hears the name Jacob Levitt to just check out the
I wish there was so many more recordings, because I heard the shit that him and Shame did once.
I know. He
and
had it
was
up,
so
and then he
cool. It was like Eddie Van Halen mixed with like Zappa, like mixed with
Absolutely.
like, I don't know. It was just so great, because it's like he just took all the rules and he's like, yeah, well, we don't really need these, do we? Like,
And without any
I don't know,
question, like it wasn't primitive. It was natural. It was visceral. There was nothing like it.
Exactly. People didn't, because I've seen people play like
He
that.
barely recorded, dude. Like I tried to record him, like so many multitudes of times, and it was difficult just because when I was doing an overdub back when I had that Tascam, the 8-track, and like I'd be playing and then he would just start playing, but it wasn't in key and I'd be like, well, hold on, can you just hold on 1 second? He's like, well, it's kind of hard to. It's like that's like telling, the lion not to feed, like telling the lion not to hunt or some, it's just, and then he just said at the end of the day, he's like, dude, it's all recording, like everything is recorded, everything's being, and like it turns out he was right.
No, he used to say the best jams are for God, which I agree with, and I think is a great sentiment.
He was a very powerfully spiritual, deeply like.
He was. That was the crazy thing about it. Oh damn! How much was that? I think it was $5.47. Whatever. I have to weigh all my fucking kratom doses now, and I basically don't stop fucking withdrawing until I've done like the fucking amount I've allocated to myself. Oh man. Well, this is just. I mean, I'm just glad that I'm actually able to do this. It's hard, but I don't think I would have been able to do this had I not quit alcohol before. But dude, man, I'm like doing 40 grams of kratom. That's almost 2 ounces, man. 2 ounces. Like, it's like if I wake up and I don't have it, I start sneezing. I have to fucking, it's an opioid. And
well, you're getting a lot better with you know what I mean, like understanding.
Well, now I really truly do understand, because like now that I'm not just taking, I used to just take these big heaping spoonfuls and just like feel really good. But the thing is, when I first started, I would take very small spoonfuls, like. It might have been like I might have only took like a couple grams a day. And then like as my tolerance went up, I have no idea how I got up to 40 grams. But like I remembered once Evan told me, he's like, oh, that kratom shit doesn't even work for me anymore. He's like, I was doing 1 ounce a day and I couldn't even feel it. And I like was like, holy shit. I was like, oh, at least I'll never be on like Evan's level. And it's like, holy shit. I'm beyond.
Yeah.
But I know how that shit can happen, because it's kind of like the less you do, the more you feel it. Because there was a time before when I was doing too much kratom, and then I went back down, and I actually started to feel small amounts again. But I'm mainly doing it is because I really am afraid for like my, because part of the whole reason I stopped drinking was for my health too. But it's like. This isn't exactly like this isn't like blue algae, This is you're not supposed to take it when you're pregnant, and then that's how you know something.
Yeah, your child will become a wook.
your child will be born with like fucking like those sunglasses on and fucking like dreads.
Yeah,
and
just
like a little parka.
Yeah, and like you're if you have a daughter, they'll be hula hooping out of the womb.
Yeah, no, they'll have the hoop, and they'll actually have, like, light-up things, like...
Where's the festival at? You guys are going the wrong way. The whole thing about the Wooks is, again, like, the thing I always say is that the minute I heard this phrase, the minute that it was told to me what this was, it instantly came to mind, because they just had to point out one person, and I was like, oh, yeah, I've been waiting to get confirmation on what this was. Like, I was like a journalist doing research, you know what I mean? Like, unenthusiastically, but again, it pissed me off so much before I knew what the phrase was. But, you know, and of course it's just like, it seems like a shot below the waist, but like, I met a guy who's like, he's like, oh yeah, no dude, I one time, I'm actually a real popular wook on some social media thing. Like, it went viral. I cut off one of my dreads for a hit of nitrous. He traded like one of his dreads for a hit of nitrous, and then he said he wanted to do something called the Wook Book.
That is hilarious.
Perfect.
Wait, who is this guy that you met? This guy sounds like a legend.
You know what? Like most Wooks, I don't know his name other than Wook.
I know that he had a Grateful Dead shirt on, and he
had this like diesel truck, and all this stuff in it that didn't need to be there. Like, and you know, dreads and a beard, and you know, not really like any.
Did he have the necklace with like the hippie jewelry?
He had some crystals. He had some crystals, and he had like a little fanny pack, you know, and shorts, and you know, probably wearing a tank top. Yeah.
Uniform.
Yeah, you know, we all know it's in the fanny pack. You know, it's definitely not. You know, it's definitely not credit cards.
It's not granola bars.
There's no credit cards.
Trail mix.
There's no money in that fanny pack.
Oh yeah, no. It's probably like not. There's probably like a bowl that he could res later. Like one.
That was like his buddies. That was his buddies.
Collected cigarettes.
Yeah, it's like it's his buddy's bowl.
Yeah, no, and then he has like some cocaine that he stole from like a dealer who he just slept in like their campsite last night.
And then just like other discarded items, like things that were like I guess what they would consider souvenirs.
Yeah, some tarot cards maybe. What you were saying about music is what I've been saying for days, is that it's almost a form of torture, and I have. Like, tortured
It's been
artists,
weaponized, that's for sure.
Well, it has. No. I mean, there are songs in which they do actually use for official
CIA,
torture.
yeah, that kind of shit.
Which is scary, you know, and it's scary like the type of songs they use for torture.
They use Red Hot Chili Peppers. They use Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I'm just thinking, like, you know what? I feel what those prisoners are going through. I listen to the radio in South Florida.
Oh my God, I know, right? And then there's Don't Stop Believing. I can only imagine if, like, you just all you heard was like when it finally ends and then you hear it again, it's like
Well, they also the crazy part is they hired musicians to remix like some like industrial, like even I'm pretty sure Tool was on that list as well. So they would hire engineers to work for the government under contract to make like what they knew in every level. I actually feel like I could be.
Yeah, no. If you're like, think about it, bro. If you're,
I've got a few records they can have. I got a few records they can have. You know,
you get royalties for your music being used to torture people. Like, holy shit. Like, I'm starting to try, like, I just thought of this because think about the
artists. Let's call Glass Body. Call him. Let's call the noise rock scene of Miami. Let's call the noise scene of Miami. We'll get him in on this.
Yeah. Let's ask them about if they would use, if the government said, hey, we want to use one of your songs to torture some what are those, who are the bad guys now? The Russians, the Chinese, or the...
We'll call them prisoners of war. Let's be woke and just consider them prisoners of war.
Yeah, POWs. Yeah. I don't know who we're fighting now. I know we're always fighting someone.
We're fighting ourselves a lot these days.
Yeah, well, that was funny. That was the next thing I was thinking, too.
Full-on civil war in American soil.
Yeah, and you know what's so weird? They're making a movie called Civil War. Did you see the previews for that?
No.
It's got that girl from Spider-Man and shit, and it's like literally about like what everyone is afraid is gonna happen.
Well,
the
shit.
next election.
At this point, all I would tell my only message for Hollywood is stop making instruction manuals.
Yes, please, my God, oh my God.
All of these movies, we fail to see. We're becoming so dumbed down and desensitized that the things that are meant to, there can't be like a moral dialogue. There can't be a message that will show you. Like Apocalypse Now doesn't glorify war. Obviously not. Platoon does not glorify war.
Now, if anything, shows you that the highest, like even the most like decorated of generals can be driven insane by combat, and it's like supposed to be like a reflection on like, you know, the blurred lines between serving your country and actually just becoming a piece of shit. And like I love how you know, Francis Ford Coppola, it's like actually a story. It's a great story. It's not like they're glorifying. And you know, also you have that with Doctor Strangelove and
yeah, and that movie is pure satire.
A general gone crazy in the head, like giving out this order that can't be taken back. Like that's the whole point. Is that it's I forget what it is, but like those types of movies, I felt like were healthy for a dialogue saying, hey, like we don't have it all right. Now all the kind of movies you get are like, you know, it just seems like they're
everything has to be compartmentalized, and marketing matters more than the message. It used to be in the 70s the best movies were the biggest movies. Now you have a, like, you know, all those guys, all those trailblazers were making films back then because they had no corporation. This was almost like a test run. They didn't know what cinema was going to be, the kind of impact it would have internationally and historically. They had no idea. They were simply testing out a medium and speaking, creating a story, but also speaking the truth. It truly
was an art form. Like, these people really did, I think, at some point, like when movies were being made, they saw this as a form of entertainment that was the same. You know, that to them was an echo back through time to when, you know, like Greek theater, you know, they're like, what if we could take the element of, like, you know, the theater, and, you know, we didn't have to have the actors present there, you know, and then we could show it to a bunch of people, and you know, I'm sure that there was some sort of like benevolence in there. As much as it probably was purely capitalistic, I think that there were benevolent artists among those people, and I still think there are directors that believe in movies and that just love movies. But now movies have become like, I was watching this thing the other day, was saying that how Taken literally is like so far away from how human trafficking actually works, and like that movie Taken actually set back real investigations that have been ongoing for years, because now everyone thought it just that like human trafficking apparently happens mostly with people that you know or that you're close to, and you know, it's not like these people. I mean, I'm not saying I know how it could happen. I've never been trafficked, never. Well, I mean, I feel like I might have been close a couple of times, but I didn't know it.
We are from Florida.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, basically a lot of these Hollywood movies are giving people the complete wrong idea instead of giving people an idea of, like, what could it be. Like, you know, it's weird. I don't know. Hollywood is kind of turned into this disinformation machine, and it used to be okay to have it be a disinformation machine because it was fucking art. It was imaginary. It didn't matter. It wasn't real. It wasn't biographical or whatever.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, we're going to continue to write the story. I think this is a good place for us to end the show here. This is People's Love Cast with Jack Gibson and me, Mr. Pope. We're going to play some music after the show. My good man, you take care. And we're going to be making some new music for you guys soon.
Yeah. Look forward to that.
All right.
You know,
all right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, bro.
All right, take it easy.
You know it.
All right.
Pope.
Pope out.
Leaders of a new generation, lead not where you walk. Leaders of the current nation, lies are what you're taught. Employ the enemy, destroy humanity. Welcome to the new sensation, your soul is ours to sound. And without no fabrication, we're bringing you down to hell. Leaders of the new breed, keep calling me. Leaders of the new breed. They're not what you expect them to be. They make money from their family tree. And yes, you know it's their industry. And that's not the way I saw it when I was a young man. Maybe father was right to tell me, get another plan. He spoke well of the sinister ways. He spoke of their plans to take over the human race. And now we live in a world so shy, shot to all degrees. And this is what father told me. This is what father told me. They make the real plan behind your back. That's why they call it a sneak attack. Take it from me or Royal Jack, we never ever got our money's back. and I still drink worse than Kerouac. It's not what Father taught me. No, it's not what Father taught me. Listen, please, for I'm not a gentleman. Deeply flawed, deeply troubled jungle man. But I'm an honest man. I'm an honest man.
Till I drop, baby, I'm not gonna stop for you. You see the way I drive, honey, I'm swerving like a newborn fool. I'm swerving like a newborn fool. Baby, when I wake up, you know I'll be shaking soon. Baby, when I wake up, you know I'll be shaking soon. Damn it.